let's just settle in our meditation posture. And I don't see Hin here. I suspect she's not very well. So let's just think about her as well. So check your body, however it is you're showing up tonight. It's totally fine. So feet flat on the floor. Yeah, hips width apart if you're sitting at a chair, at a desk. Other than that, if you are in your regular cross-legged position, have your sits bones slightly raised, shoulders are aligned with the hips. And just again, imagining your spine is a string of pearls of light, and it's stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And imagine your head is very slightly tipped forward, eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose. Relax the jaw. And bring your awareness to the crown of the head and relax your scalp and the forehead and the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the mouth, back of the head, base of the skull. Relax the jaw. Back of the tongue. Relax the back of the neck. Allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat, the chest, and the belly. And your limbs, hands, fingers, and feet and toes. And bring the mind to the breath. And just notice the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. Just the very subtle sensations of the air as you breathe in and out. If you are hearing any sounds in your environment, just allow those sounds to be there. Try not to follow them with the mind. And then just notice what thoughts are arising. And most likely they're different thoughts to last night. Put some space in between them. Try not to have opinions about your thoughts or criticize your thoughts or think it should be something else. Just take a little step back and observe the mind. We can put ourselves on the bank of our river. Just watch it flow on by. And while we're sitting on the bank, we're free from that river. So bringing to mind all the people of our life, our loved ones, those ones we find a bit more difficult, and then those ones who are strangers to us. Remembering they're all equal in their wish to be happy and their wish to be free from suffering and in having this amazing capacity for enlightenment, just like you. So I think we'll do this meditation this evening for all these people in our life, by extension all sentient beings, and just bring to mind our Hin, hoping that she's okay. And I think also Mary's mother isn't very well today, so we just think about her family. So remembering there is no negativity that cannot be purified, and this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we create negativity with our mind. We can also create positivity with our mind instead. So we are doing this practice of Vajrasattva in the context of the four opponent powers, and we start with the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all past lives, and think of specific actions of both your body and your speech. And then in general, regret all. And the reason we're regretting is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others. We ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And that just sounds a little bit awful. So logically, it makes sense to pull out those karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. We can also regret all our delusions, our anger and attachment and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And we just think, I'm sick of this suffering. And so then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. So we rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, the doctor who has the methods we can use to purify. And so we're not necessarily asking the Buddha to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine, his methods, and his medicine. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head, and you can also imagine this is your teacher, if you have one, manifesting in this form, the mind of that person manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and on a moon cushion. So, 1 second. And this lotus, although born out of mud, is untainted by that mud, just like your enlightened potential. Born out of our delusions, but yet untainted by them. He has a beautiful radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us by developing compassion for them. So think in particular of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you, and think particularly because they've harmed you, they're going to experience some form of suffering in the future. Time is uncertain. So have compassion for them because of that, and make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings, and think I must purify for their sake. So now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the actual medicine doing the practice of purification. So we start with the body, and imagine Vajrasattva compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid, and this pours out of you and disappears to space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anarakta Mibawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sritam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satta Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dira Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anurakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anurakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anurakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anurakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahom Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and imagine there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others with your body. So the next is the purification of our speech. And again, Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of the body all the negativity of the speech. And it sort of overflows quite powerfully and disappears into space. So you can imagine that all the gossip and the harsh speech and the kind of careless, useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs, all of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anurakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anurakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anurakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anurakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anurakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mempiyata sawa kama sitame siddham shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dina meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mempiyata sawa kama sitame siddham shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified. And imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with this speech. So next is the purification of the mind. And Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. And just as remembering as when you're walking to a pitch black room and you just flick on the switch and that instantly dispels the darkness. The same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all your attachment and grasping and neediness, bitterness and grudges and anxieties and insecurities and all this kind of pride and arrogance and disappointments and jealousy, all of this instantly dispelled with the mantra and the light. Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe. So again, be delighted that all of your delusions, for all of us, this is the cause of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech. They're completely purified, they're gone, and think there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is the purification of these imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. So imagine Vajrasattva again sends this time light and nectar. So you're going to be doing like a double wash, and it completely eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Mibowa Sutokaya Mibowa Supokaya Mibowa Anarakta Mibowa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Mibowa Sutokaya Mibowa Supokaya Mibowa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. So now you feel you are completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And so now we come to the power of resolve, the final step in the purification process, and a really important one. And we do have a couple of minutes, so let's just meditate on the things that you're going to refrain from doing that are harmful to yourself and others. Just bring them to mind. Make a determination, a decision. This is what I'm going to work on between now and tomorrow. Now imagine Vajrasattva is really delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and just kind of dissolves into you through the crown of your head. And you think my teacher's body, speech, and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. And then just think a little bit about emptiness. At whatever level you understand emptiness, just place our minds there for a little while. We think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And we can also think that perhaps the way things appear to me The way I interpret them, the way I think about them may not necessarily be the way they exist. So let's just dedicate all the positive energy and the merit created by doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. The long lives of our teachers, or His Holiness, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso, I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, O Tup Shu Chang Shin Jam Gon Galloway, Tenzin Kyang Palaway Kunzo Dog Porze, Jog Sum Kurway Leg Mon to Droop, Dog Sog Dulaje Gondu Jab Ten Shok. Lama Ursel Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us in intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request, O Lama, please live long. And for Geshe Shera, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. So there we go. So some of you have done 2 purification meditations today, so you can go to bed with a happy mind. Okay, right. Lots of love, everybody. Good night. Thank you so much for hosting. Thanks for watching The Door. And I look forward to seeing some of you tomorrow evening. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. Good night. Sweet dreams, everyone.